Hi.
Oh, how are
Good.
you?
How are you, Miss Stacy? I'm Tori.
Nice to meet you, Tori.
Nice to meet you. So, I'm question, are you with Survivor Fitness or just happened to find the workshop online?
Survivor Fitness.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
My volume up a little bit. Great, Stacy. How long have you been hanging out with Survivor Fitness crew?
I started talking to them in November last year, and then I started with the program in January. So,
Oh, that's awesome. So you've
yeah,
actually already graduated the program.
I have. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you're here. Well, this will be fun. You guys do a lot of the strength stuff. So today we get to do the stretch stuff.
Sounds good. I can use that for sure.
Yeah, don't we all?
Yeah.
Especially like at this time of the day, it's going to be so relaxing. I think we're all going to sleep well.
Yeah,
We're going to have a good time, Miss Stacy.
that sounds great. Now, are you in Nashville or?
No, so I am in Knoxville, or excuse me, well, I know Survivor Fitness is home base is Knoxville. I'm actually in Maryville, which is like
Yeah.
20 minutes from Knoxville, so we're not too far.
Okay, yeah. I'm in Farragut, so not
Oh,
far.
okay, perfect. Yeah, you just hop on Pellissippi and you're right at my basically doorstep.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. I love the Farragut area too. I've got there's a girl that I stretch with actually for me that is in Farragut as well. So there's a lot of us wonderful stretch therapists in the area.
Great.
I love it. Oh, good. We've got Miss Kristen jumping on too. Looks like my husband's already on. We got a few. I know we had quite a few people signed up, so
Oh, good.
it'll be a fun class. We'll see
Yeah.
what pops on. I love it. Looks like her audio is connecting. Good. Got my water. I always got to have the water ready to go if I'm talking a lot.
Sure.
Mhm. Let's see. I like it. Mhm.
Puppies are trying to get involved.
Oh, I know. We're at my office, or else then I would totally have my puppy coming in and out of the Zoom too. I know he loves to hop on. Oh, there's Atlee. Hi. I love it. All right. Got a few of you guys on here. Miss Kristen's on here. I love it. I'm like kind of far away. Let me get a little closer where I can see. There we go. Perfect. All right. We're at 6:59. So we're gonna give
Hey, Adley, I'm going back on mute, but I just wanted to say, hey, Adley.
you're echoing because that's creeping me out.
A
My
question.
husband's in the room with me on his Zoom call to monitor and make sure it goes well. So he's hanging out, doing the stretch class with us, guys. All right, let me pull. There's my screen. Let's make that a little bit bigger so I can see everyone. Here we go. I love it. And of course, I'm going to wait. We're right at 7, but I'm going to give a few more people a few minutes to sign on. Get comfy. Make sure you've got a mat maybe to do some stretching on. We will be on the ground in stretch class. It's not all going to be standing. So make sure you've got a comfy space where you can do that. Let's see. Water's always good to have. Maybe a little sweatshirt. You never know if you're going to get hot or cold while you're stretching. Um, Let's see. Oh, and then if you want, I'm gonna not, on my end, I'm not putting music on. So you guys are welcome to put a little bit of background music on your phones or something if you want to, as long as you're on mute. Normally I do have a lovely stretch playlist for everyone, but I don't want the Zoom to get wonky with my voice and the music. So if you are welcome to put a little music on in the background if you would like. Oh, good. We've got another person joining us. Hello. Oh, awesome. Nice. We'll give it a few more minutes to get a few people on here. I'm so excited you guys are here tonight. We're going to be so relaxed by the end of this class. We'll do a little introduction once everyone's on, and then we've got 35 minutes of relaxing stretches. Perfect. Oh, good. We got another person hopping on. Awesome. All right, we'll probably get started right around 7:04. So if you need to grab some water, a last minute pee break real quick, whatever you need to get yourselves ready to go. For those of you who just hopped on, make sure you've got like a mat or something very comfortable to stretch on. Let me turn off those notifications. Awesome. All right. Like I said, water bottle's always good to have. A jacket or something. Sometimes you get cold. Sometimes you're hot while you're moving your bodies. You never know. With stretching, we're going to be trying to down regulate the nervous system. So a little bit more of that calming effect. Perfect. Good. Oh, nice. I love it, y'all. Few more people hopping on. We'll probably get started in the next 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and back up and make sure that you guys can see me back here. All right. There we go. And I can still see you guys too. Awesome. I love it. All right, we'll get started here in just a second. So make sure you've got everything ready to go for you. We'll start with a little intro and then jump into that stretching. Perfect. Pop over, make sure that everyone's on, that things popping on. Yes. Oh, good. Yay. All right, guys. Well, let me get back into position and we will get this class started. All right. Well, welcome everybody to a mobility and stretch workshop. My name is Tori Thomas. I am T3 Training and Stretch here in Maryville, Tennessee. So what we do here is actually fascia stretch therapy. I typically will have someone on a massage table and pull their arms, legs, and all the most wonderful ways to get you stretched out. But today we're going to actually do a stretch session that is from Life Stretch. This is from the Stretch to Win Institute, which is where I get trained. This was developed for therapists to take care of themselves. And we have now turned it into a whole class for our clients and for you guys. So we're going to get a little bit of a taste of it today. So to get started, we're first going to talk about mobility and flexibility. As my husband like rams his elbow into the door. I hope you're okay. All right. I got distracted. Sorry. Okay, we're back. So mobility and flexibility. There is a difference between the two. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that before we hop into class. So flexibility is going to be the ability of the muscle to lengthen, stretching, right? Mobility is going to be the ability of a joint to move through its full range of motion. That elbow he just knocked, that is going to be a joint right there. That's mobility, my ability to move that joint. Stretching would be stretching the muscles around that area. Okay, so that, yes, definitely, if you want to jump in and do a little stretch with me here, go for it. So this would be stretching. This is mobility, moving the joint. Now, did you notice something as you moved that joint? You stretched the bicep and you also contracted the bicep. That's the strength part that so many of you guys are already on top of. So good job, those of you that are in the Survivor Fitness program, those of you that have graduated, and to those of you that don't know about Survivor Fitness, we will highlight that a little bit more in just a second. So we're back to that mobility and flexibility. Today, we're going to do the flexibility portion with Life Stretch, which is going to be sponsored by Survivor Fitness, who is a wonderful nonprofit organization that helps cancer survivors with the strength portion. They pair you with a personal trainer, you get a free program with them, and there's some other opportunities like this workshop for those of you that are with it or that are part of the public group that are just joining on to find out more about all of it. All right, guys. So what you are here for is the stretching portion. So let's jump into that. Now, to begin, we're actually going to stand up. I know I'm on my knees, but we're going to stand up. Let's all get on our feet. All right. So let's remember one thing in the stretch class today. Your breath is key. We never strain through a stretch. We only breathe through it to get release from tension. So that means we're going to start with the breath. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. You want a nice soft bend in your knees. You're going to put one hand right below your belly button. The other hand is going to go right on your chest. We're going to do this to make sure that we're breathing from our bellies to our chest. You're welcome to close your eyes if you would like. We're going to take a big inhale and fill up our bellies. Comes up through the chest. When you exhale, you'll release from the chest first and then through the belly. If this is keep breathing on your own here, filling the belly first through the chest. If this feels a little complicated, that's okay. Breathing, like strength exercise, takes practice as well. So make sure you take that big breath in, fill up the belly, then the chest, and slow exhales through pursed lips, releasing from the chest and releasing from the belly. Good. All right, we can relax those arms, shake it out a little bit. So the next part of stretching is our assessment. One thing to note, every time you stretch, do a functional assessment. For me, it's typically walking. So if you want to walk, see how your hips feel. Take a little stroll. I'm going to not leave the camera screen, but you can walk much further. Do you feel tightness in the inner thigh? Does one glute fire more than the other? Do your hips shake a lot when you walk? Does the head bobble? How do your shoulders feel? You can always, if you like to golf, you can do a golf swing. That's another wonderful functional assessment. If your neck tends to be really tight, you can always look over one of your shoulders and see how that feels. When we assess, we're only making note of where we feel maybe a little restriction or a little tightness. All right, the functional assessment part is done. Now we're going to get a little more into the stretch with a fascial net assessment. What is fascia? Great question. Fascia is like a giant onesie that encases your entire body. It covers your muscles, your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, nerves. It even goes visceral into the organs. So what causes restrictions can be muscle patterns. It can also be physical and emotional trauma. So anyone that's been on a healing journey that may involve some chemotherapy or some other forms of medicine, physical therapy, there's all kinds of things. If you've sprained an ankle, anything that can be a part of a healing journey probably has some fascial trauma in there as well. So stretching is a great way to release. So we're going to assess that. You're going to start, bring those feet nice and wide, soft bend in the knees, arms float up overhead. You look up to the sky as best you can. Now we're going to let one arm drop and you're going to reach with one arm, maybe to the side. Continue to use your eyes to look at that hand. You can lean and rock. If you would like, you can float the other arm up with it as well. Maybe a little rotation to the side. I'm going to step so I don't hit this wall here. And you can take it down. You can come back up. And then when you're ready, you're going to switch those hands and you'll drop one arm and let the other arm just big reach overhead. Maybe your arm doesn't extend all the way. There's a slight bend in the elbow. You never know. You're just noting some restrictions here. You can lean to the side. Come back up. You can float the other arm up. Little twist if that feels good. You can bend and come back through the center if you would like. Make this your own. This is your own stretching. You can kind of just weave through both hands. And then when you're ready, you're going to actually step back with one foot. So we're going to assess one side a little deeper. So my right foot is back. I'm going to bring my right arm up overhead. And I'm going to feel a little bit of a pull from the armpit down into the hip flexor. Maybe I feel a little tension on that inner thigh that's in front. We move our bodies around, find ways that feel good, reaching, breathing, stretching. And when you're ready, that arm comes down, feet come back together. Now you'll step back with the left foot and do the same thing here. Arms float up overhead. You reach. Feel a nice pull. Do you feel something deep in the abdomen here? You can twist, gently turn. Good. You're breathing through all of this. You can take it down and around if it feels good. Awesome. All right, we're gonna bring those feet back together. So we've assessed our front net, a little bit of that lateral net, and now we're gonna come to the back net. So this is gonna actually bring us down onto our mats. So we're gonna do this together. So make sure that you've got a nice hip width stance. Hands are gonna rest on your thighs to help you come down and assist. I'm gonna turn a little bit to the side so you can see my bend here. So we're gonna bend those knees. We're gonna gently start to come down. That booty pushes back like you're doing a squat. And you slowly drop your head towards the ground. Y'all let your heads hang. I'm gonna continue to kind of have control of my neck here so I can talk to that microphone. So make sure you just let everything drop. Your hands can now come all the way down to the ground. They support you here. You're going to actually step back with your feet, sort of like a downward dog, but not all the way. You're going to have a little bend in your knees, and you're just assessing your low back, your glutes, your hamstrings. You can pedal it out here if you would like, extending one leg straight while keeping the other bent. Make sure you take big, deep breaths here. And big, relaxing exhales. Good. All right, we're going to come all the way down. Let's take it all the way to our booties on the mat, on the blanket, on the carpet. For the next couple of moves, your feet can be wide out in front of you. You can sit cross-legged, whatever feels good. And actually, guys, while we're down here, I'm going to take my shoes off because why would you stretch with shoes on? It's way more comfortable and effective to do it without the shoes. All right, so find a position that works for you, and we're going to start warming up our necks. So I'm going to pick cross-legged, but you're welcome to extend those feet wide out in front of you if that feels a lot better. So for here, arms are just nice and rested on your lap. You're going to gently turn your chin to look over one of your shoulders, and you're going to draw a circle starting upward. So that chin moves up towards the ceiling. You trace the ceiling with your eyes so that you don't take your head too far back. And you slowly continue the circle down the opposite side. Take it all the way down to your sternum. And let's do that one more time on this side. Make sure you're moving at your own pace and in a way that is comfortable for you. We're not going to force the stretch. We're just going to let it gently happen. When your head comes back down to your chest, you're going to gently rise up in the center. Beautiful. All right, we did one side. Let's do the opposite side. Now look over the other shoulder. Same thing, you start that circle up. You're going to trace the ceiling with your eyes so you don't take your head too far back. Notice if there's any restrictions in the neck. Do you feel something in the back? Maybe there's a little restriction coming from the front of the neck. We're gonna do that circle one more time on this side. Moving nice and slow. We're always listening to our bodies. When your chin comes to chest, gently rise back up through the center. Good. All right, I'm gonna take a quick sip of water and we're gonna do the shoulder warm up here. All right, so we're gonna take one arm, I'm gonna take my right arm up, my fingertips come right to my shoulder. If you don't have this ability, they can sit here. It's just a nice gentle bend in that elbow. We're gonna draw circles forward. So the shoulder is moving forward, that elbow is coming towards the front. Good, you're just moving at a nice, easy pace. Maybe as you do a couple circles, you see if you get a little bit bigger. After you complete the one you're on and come back down, take it backwards. So now the elbow gets to draw the circle backwards. Good job. That's exactly it. Taking it up and around. Good. After you finish this one, if you'd like, you can now extend that arm in front of hand in front of you and take it back up and use your eyes. Follow it with your eyes. Movement tends to go where your eyes go. So if you watch that hand, you may get a little bit of a bigger circle. Beautiful. And when you're done with this one, let that arm just relax on your lap. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite arm. You just bring those fingertips up, let them rest nice on that shoulder there. And we start going forward. So that elbow comes towards the front. Good. And we bring it down and around. Nice. Moving nice and slow. Make note, is there more of a restriction in one shoulder than the other? Beautiful. We're going to do it one more time forward. And when you complete this and come back down, take it backwards. Take it up and back and around. Beautiful, guys. Looking so good here. See if you can get a little bit bigger with that circle. When you're ready, that hand extends out in front and you can now take it big, wide circle here, but nice and easy. Maybe you get a little clicking in that shoulder. Just take it gentle. Listen to that tissue. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna let our arms relax. We're gonna move on to more of the hip warm-up portion. So we're gonna come on to all fours. So we're gonna get on our hands and knees. Your feet are gonna rest, the top of your feet rest. We don't want those toes all scrunched up, let them relax. So from here, I'm gonna turn so you can, I'm facing you so you can see what my hips are doing. We're going to take it to the side. So you're going to lean to the right, letting those hips kind of extend out to the right side. And then you come back to center. Take a big inhale. Exhale, let it fall to the left. Good. And you're moving within your own capability. You inhale back to center. You exhale, let it drop down. Do you notice a stretch in that right hip? Do you feel a little tension in that left inner thigh? Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, drop to the opposite side one more time. Good. When you're ready, you just inhale and bring it back to center. Awesome, everybody. All right, we're going to come back onto our booties. Let's get back into the seated position. We're going to bring those feet out in front of us. Your knees are bent. Hands are going to be behind you. I'm going to turn so you can just see my position. So hands are rested back. Feet are in front of you. Knees bent. Now, we're going to use our breath here because we're starting to get into more of the stretch portion. So big inhale. Exhale. Let those knees drop. One goes to the inside, one to the outside. Good. And And then you inhale, bring it back to center. Nice. Exhale, let them drop to the other side. We're not forcing them down. We're just letting them relax with our breath here. Inhale, bring it back to center. Good. Exhale, let's let them fall another time here. No, you may notice that one knee goes more to the inside than the other one does. Inhale, center. You're catching that pattern. Exhale, let them fall. Good job, guys. And when you're ready, you inhale and bring them back to center. Beautiful. Those are called windshield wipers. They're a wonderful mobility move because we're working our hip joint into an internal and external rotation. So we're going to stretch now, which means we're going to be lengthening some muscles. So we're going to start with a 90-90 position. Your left knee is going to be in the front. For those of you who have never done a 90-90 position, that means that our knee is bent at a 90-degree angle, our hips are at a 90-degree angle, and our feet are at this beautiful 90-degree angle as well. Of course, some of us have mobility joint restrictions, so if you need to adjust a little bit of those feet placement, you're more than welcome to. You can also sit on a yoga block as well if that tends to be more comfortable. All right, we're going to start with a delicious glute stretch. So if it's that left leg in front of you, like mine, you're going to feel this stretch on the left glute. You're going to place your hands on either side of that knee. We're going to work with traction like we do in fascia stretch therapy. So when you inhale, you're going to lift and elongate that spine like you're being pulled by a string. So we're going to inhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to exhale and we're going to fall forward. As we exhale, we go down just until we feel a little bit of a stretch in that glute. Not too far because we don't want to strain into these stretches. You inhale and come back up to the starting position. We're going to work with that movement, and with each fall, we'll get a little deeper into that stretch. This is your second time here. We're going to take a big deep breath in. Rise up. Exhale, fall forward. Maybe you go a little bit further on the second time. When you inhale, you come back to that starting position at the top. Good. One more time here, big inhale. We're going to exhale, take it down, and we're going to stay down just a little bit longer here. So if you would like, your hands can come kind of in front of you, down to your elbows, if you have that mobility. If not, stay in that original position. You're going to inhale and look over one of your shoulders. I'm going to go over my right shoulder to start. Just exhaling and looking over the shoulder. We work with our breath, so we inhale and bring it back to center. You exhale and you get to go over the other shoulder. So now I'm looking over my left shoulder. I'm going to inhale, come back to center, and then rise all the way back up to that starting position. Good. If you're here and your foot's falling asleep, you're always welcome to kick that leg out and wiggle the toes a little bit. If not, you just stay in that position. You're good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is a quadratus laborum stretch, a QL stretch. All you need to know is you're going to feel it now on that right side. We just did the left glute. Now the right side is going to be stretched here. I'm going to shift so you can see me a little better. Your hands were on either side of that knee. Walk them to the thigh. One hand is going to be a little more in line with your hip. One hand may be a little more in line with that left thigh and left knee. Now, the key here is you're going to feel it on that right side. How do we do that? Traction again. So we're going to inhale. We're going to lift up through that spine. When you exhale, you're going to take your chin and keep it lifted, but look back behind you. Nice big lift of that chin, eyes look back. When you inhale, come back to that starting position by bending forward and taking that tension off of your right side. You've been here once, maybe you've warmed up a little. You can walk those hands a little further back behind you if that's comfortable. Same thing, we inhale, we lift it up. Exhale and look back behind you with that chin lifted up. You should feel this maybe deep in the abdominals, all the way down into that right side. Come back to the starting position. We do it just one more time. Adjust those hands as you need. Big inhale, lift, and lean back while looking back, keeping that chin lifted. If your back is starting to hurt, your hands are too far back behind you. If you don't feel anything in the front, your hands are not back far enough. And come back to the starting position. All right, we're gonna do our hip flexor on that right side next. You're gonna come down to that left elbow. I'm gonna adjust because you're gonna need to see me here. So we're now on that left elbow. It's probably in line with your hip. You're gonna walk it back until you feel a little bit of a stretch on that right hip right here. So walk that left elbow back, feel a little bit of tension on that right hip. Make sure that right hand's placed on the ground so you can use it for support. Same thing you just did. You're gonna inhale, lift a little bit by pressing that left elbow into the ground, and very gently add a little bit of a lean. Your head goes back, and your chest turns back a little bit, and feel a deep stretch in that right hip flexor, maybe coming up into the abdominals like that psoas muscle. When you're ready, you inhale, come back to the starting position. You can walk that elbow back a little bit further. If your back feels compressed, the elbow is too far back. If you feel nothing in that right hip, then your elbow is not back far enough. Deep breath in. And exhale and lean it back, moving into that stretch with your breath for release. We're going to do that one more time. Big inhale in. Lovely exhale, long, relaxing exhale, moving into that stretch. And when you're ready, your inhale brings you back. We've got one final move from this position. You're going to walk that left elbow back in line with your hip. So put a little slack back on that right hip. Take the tension out of it here. I'm going to take a sip of water while you get in position. All right. So now we're going to work that right lat right through here. So you're going to stay on that left elbow. Right arm comes up. Your palm is facing down towards your feet. You're going to inhale and you're going to reach with those fingertips. On the exhale, slowly let that hand start dropping overhead. As you finish that exhale, you're going to rotate your torso towards the ground and reach with that right arm. And then swim it through with the inhale. Taking it all the way back to that starting position. You inhale, reach, and exhale. Let it fall overhead. Nice and slow, feeling a stretch through that armpit. As you finish that exhale, rotate your torso and swim that hand through. We're going to do it one more time. Back to that starting position. Inhale with the reach. Slow exhale through pursed lips as that arm falls overhead. Torso rotates, you reach, and as you swim it through, use that right arm to push you back up to a seated position. All right, crew, you did some windshield wipers to start. We're halfway through this core 4 stretch, so we're going to do some windshield wipers again. That means hands are behind you, feet are nice and in front of you, knees are bent. You inhale, exhale, let them drop. Good, we're back to that mobility. Now, you can move a little faster this time if you would like than you did, last time. You inhale and exhale, inhale And exhale. Good. All right. Let's work the other side. If you followed me, we started with the left leg in front. Now we're going to put that right leg in front in that 90-90 position. All right. So right leg is in front, knee is 90 degrees, our hips are at 90 degrees, our feet and ankles are at 90 degrees as well. If you need that yoga block to sit on, you're welcome to do so, or a cushion or a pillow. All right, hands go on either side of that knee. If you remember, we take that big breath in, we get pulled by a string, so our spine becomes long. As we exhale, we fall forward, our chest is over that right knee. You go down just as far as you feel a nice stretch, and then come all the way back up to that starting position. You guys have done these moves before. You're welcome to move freely through them at your own pace. We inhale, lift up through the spine. Exhale, fall maybe just a little bit more forward this time. Maybe a little further into that stretch. And then you inhale and rise it back up to the starting position. Keep using that breath to work through restrictions. Inhale. This time we're going to exhale and hang out down at the bottom a little longer. If you can come all the way down to those elbows, you are welcome to here. If you remember, we're going to take that breath in. Exhale, look over maybe that left shoulder here to start. Just shifting that stretch in the right glute. We inhale and come back. Some of you may feel a lot. Some of you may not feel a lot when we look over the shoulder. Nothing is right or wrong. We're just listening to our bodies. We're looking over the right shoulder now. And when you're ready, you come back to center and rise all the way back up to that starting position. Once again, you can wiggle that right foot out, kick that leg out if it fell asleep on you a little bit there. If not, you just stay right where you're at. All right, we're going to come to that QL stretch on this left side now. So our hands walk back a little bit behind us until we feel just a little bit of tension right here. I'm going to turn so y'all can still see me here. All right. We inhale, lift, keep that chin lifted and look back towards you. Kind of like you're looking at where the wall and the ceiling meet. When you inhale, you come back to center. You can totally move those hands forward if maybe there's a little bit more restriction in this hip, or walk them back if you're ready to advance that stretch. Big inhale in, lift, and lean with that chin lifted and looking behind you. You can bend a little bit, come back through the front. Walk the hands back. We're going to go one more time here. We inhale and lift. And lean, taking it back to feel a little stretch in this left side. And bring it back to that starting position when you're ready. Now, we're going to get into that left hip flexor. So you're going to drop onto that right elbow here. For this one, you may be right in line with your hip, or you may want to walk it just a couple inches back. You walk back until you feel a little bit of tension on that left hip flexor here. And the stretch may even go kind of all the way up into the abdominals, or even that neck as well if you're getting a full deep front net stretch in. All right, you're going to inhale, lift by pressing into that elbow. Exhale and lean it back, looking back behind you here. And then you're going to inhale when you're ready. Bring it back to the front. Remember, you're welcome to move slowly through this at your own pace. Inhale, lift, and lean. Keep that chin lifted, looking back behind you. Come back to the front when you're ready. We're going to go one more time here. If you want to walk that elbow back a little bit further, you're welcome to. Big deep breath in. Exhale, lean it back, lifting that chin, looking back behind you. And come back to the front. Good. We're going to stay on that right elbow, but now we're going to take slack off of that left hip. So make sure that elbow is nice and in line with your hips, and there's not any tension on that left one like we just stretched. We're going into the left lat now. Left hand comes up overhead. Palm is facing the feet. You inhale, you push through that right elbow, you exhale, and those fingertips fall overhead with the exhale. Good job. As you finish that exhale, your torso turns towards the ground and you swim it through. Wonderful. Arm comes all the way back to starting position. You inhale, push through that right elbow, lift, reach with those fingertips, and let them fall with your wonderful, slow, relaxing exhale. Turn that chest towards the mat as you wrap up that exhale and swim your hand through. We're going to go through it one more time. When you're back to that starting position, big inhale. Exhale, reach with the fingertips and let them fall, feeling a delicious stretch maybe in that armpit, the rib cage, all the way down that back. You'll turn your chest towards the ground and swim it through. Use that left hand to push you back up to that starting position. Y'all should know what's coming now. Windshield wipers. All right, we're going to extend those feet out in front of you, knees bent, hands behind you, and you inhale, exhale, let those knees fall. Hopefully, by this third and final time of windshield wipers, your hips are feeling a little looser. Maybe you notice one feels a little better than the other. Make note where there was a little bit more of a restriction so that you can spend some more time there on your own. You just continue to breathe through this. You inhale at the top and you just exhale and let everything fall. Good. Wonderful, guys. All right, so now we're going to reset everything here. So in order to do that, we're going to come onto our backs. So if you've got a hair clip or something in, go ahead and take that out. We're going to lay all the way down. You're going to hug your knees. Big hug of the knees to the chest. Big squeeze here, giving your body so much self-love. It's so important that we send positive energy and thoughts. And you have done so much to recover tonight, to relax, to restore. Give yourself some love and gratitude. All right, when you're ready, your feet are going to be nice and firm on the ground. Your knees are bent. Hands are going to be at your side. We just have a few moves to reset everything. For first, we're going to do 3 hip bridges. We're going to work with our breath here. So you're going to inhale. On the exhale, squeeze those booty cheeks and lift those hips up towards the ceiling. You want that knee, hip, shoulder, and head in a beautiful straight diagonal line. And release everything back down. Good. Reach up 2 more times. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the booty cheeks to start, and then push those hips up towards the ceiling. Big squeeze at the top. And relax and let everything fall down. Wonderful. We just have one more here. Big inhale. Squeeze those cheeks and push up towards the ceiling. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax everything back down. Awesome. We've got one more setting move before we get to a stand-up position. So we're going to come on to all fours. So we're going to come all the way onto our hands and knees. All right. Whew. Part of the stretch is just moving into the positions. All right. So now, get my hair out of my face. All right. So we're going to do a bear plank. I'm gonna demo for you first, and then on the next one, join me. So for that bear plank, your hands are firmly in the mat, your toes are curled, and when I tell you to lift, you're just gonna lift your knees about 1 to 2 inches off of your mat, and you're gonna engage your core to do so and try to keep that back nice and even. All right, we've got 3 of them together. Ready? Big breath in, exhale. Lift those knees, engage that core, hold and release. Good. 2 more times. Big breath in. Big exhale, push it up. Hold right here, engage that core, draw that belly button spine. Good. And release it all back down. Awesome. Final time of this bear plank, y'all. Big breath in. Big exhale, bring those knees up, squeeze, hold that core, and release it all back down. Awesome. We're going to go back through our little fascial net assessments to wrap it all up. Since we're already in a good position for the back net, let's start there. So if you remember, the back net was kind of a modified down dog. That's what we're going to do. We're going to lift up onto our feet. Our knees can have a nice big bend. We kind of push back, evaluating our spine. You can pedal out those feet to feel a nice hamstring, calf stretch. Push back a little further. See how that low back feels. And you're breathing through everything. When you're ready, you can either walk your hands back, or you can walk those feet up towards your hands. Hands are going to come right at the bottom of the thighs, the top of the knees, and you're going to push yourself back up. A nice bend in that spine, coming up 1 vertebra at a time, nice and slow. We're stacking the shoulders, the neck, and the head last. Good. All right, we're going to just evaluate that front net one more time. So this is going to be that nice wide stance here. Big breath in, arms come up overhead. We drop one arm, keep one arm up. We reach. Maybe you reach behind, let that arm, you can even do a little arm circle here with that one side. Feeling if you notice a bit of a difference. Maybe a big lateral lean. You can even loop it around if you would like and come back up through the center here. Beautiful. Good job. When you're ready, we're going to do the opposite arm, comes up overhead. We reach, maybe you lean back, lean to the side. Do you notice if it's easier or harder? Do you feel less restrictions? You can do a big arm circle. Don't want to hit the lamp or anything behind you. See how that feels. Big reach. Maybe we take it to the side one last time. Do you feel anything in that hip flexor? Coming all the way back down and around. We come back up to center. Good. We always start and we always end class with our breath. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. You are welcome to just stay in your position, or you can welcome to join me with a little bit of movement here. So those feet are going to be nice and wide, soft bend in those knees. You're going to inhale and arms come up overhead. Bringing those arms all the way up for that inhale and exhale, bringing them back down. Beautiful. We're going to do that a couple more times. Big inhale. Arms come up and exhale. Let them all flow back down. Beautiful. Final breath together here. Big inhale. Arms float up overhead. Lovely. Exhale. Let everything just relax and wiggle it out. I love it. Awesome, you guys. Oh, let me get a little closer so I can see y'all. Yay! There's everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you had a lovely, relaxing stretch, learned a little bit about flexibility, and mobility. You guys, if you want to know more information about T3 training and stretch, you can check out my website, t3stretch.com. You can also follow us on like Instagram or Facebook. Just look up T3 Training and Stretch. Of course, follow Survivor Fitness, please, on Instagram, Facebook. They're such a wonderful organization that a lot of y'all are familiar with. But those of you that are not familiar with, I highly encourage you to check them out. If you're already a follower of mine, I will be posting about them on Facebook and Instagram, so you'll get some links for more information about this organization. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you get a wonderful night's sleep tonight and have a beautiful rest of your week and weekend. Bye, you guys. Enjoy. It was so much fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm so glad my husband's here to like also teach me how to end class. We all might be on this Zoom all night tonight, y'all. All right, everyone. Oh, there's the button. Have a good one, guys. See ya.